Hello, I am Takeshi Iwata from Shingijutsu Global Consulting. This time, I will explain Jidoka, automation or intelligence automation. You can read this as Jidoka. Jidoka is not just an equipment that simply moves, but also the concept of adding human wisdom, that is, stopping when there is an abnormality and not passing defects in the subsequent processes. It means changing automated motion into real work. This Jidoka and just-in-time production are two important concepts in achieving efficient production. Next is the basic principle of Jidoka. There are two basic principles. The first is the idea of building quality into the production process. The second is the idea of separating the tasks of operators and that of equipment. I will continue to explain these two concepts. First is the principle of building quality into the process. The important thing is that we don't make defects, but it also means that defects are not passed on to subsequent processes. When a defect occurs, we will thoroughly pursue its cause. This means to take steps to prevent recurrence and to further standardize the processes. Also, anyone can make mistakes, so even if you blame the person who makes a mistake, that is not an improvement. It is important to think of a mechanism like pokayoke, mistake proofing, in which you notice that a mistake has occurred and the defects do not flow to the subsequent processes. Next is the second principle. The idea is to separate or sort the tasks of people and equipment. People are not guardians of equipment. We should respect the human qualities of people. Here's the difference between general automation and Jidoka. General automation does not stop when something goes wrong. If someone does not press a button, it will not stop. As a result, when a defect occurs, it will not stop. It will be those defects that will flow to the subsequent processes. On the other hand, Jidoka concept stops when an abnormality occurs. As a result, defects will not flow to the subsequent processes and will not continue to be manufactured. If you promote Jidoka, people will not be the guardians of machines, so this will lead to the ability to work with a smaller number of people. Next is the points of promoting Jidoka. There are 4 points. The first is to separate or sort the work of people from that of equipment. The second is to advance the steps of Jidoka in stages. The third is to prepare methods and tools for actualizing Jidoka. The fourth is to incorporate mechanisms such as pokayoke, mistake proofing. I will explain these 4 using slides. Point 1 is to separate or sort the work of people and that of equipment. If everything is manual, no one can leave the equipment. However, if only the processing part can be automated, it will no longer be necessary for people to cling to the equipment and will be able to do other work. Point 2 is to promote Jidoka in stages. We will proceed from step 1 of Jidoka in order. You don't have to implement Jidoka into everything. That would be too costly. Point 3 is to place methods and tools to actualize Jidoka. The operator needs to be aware of any abnormalities that occur and to prevent them from flowing to subsequent processes. For that, you need a stop button and pokayoke, mistake proofing. Abnormalities must be reported to the manager or administrator. It is necessary to have visual management such that abnormalities are immediately recognized by utilizing andon and production control boards. In order to separate the work between people and equipment, there needs to be a mechanism that automatically stops the equipment when one cycle of work is completed or when the equipment reaches a certain position, that is, a fixed position stop. In addition, it is necessary to promote standard work and education so that workers can work in multiple processes. Point 4 is to incorporate the mechanism of pokayoke, mistake proofing. There are various levels of pokayoke, but it is preferable to be pokayoke that regulates movement, that is, pokayoke that restricts any subsequent work, rather than pokayoke that only gives caution. By doing so, you can notice that you made a mistake and defects are not passed on to the subsequent process. The above is the idea of promoting Jidoka. Now I will summarize. The first is the idea of building quality into the production process. What is important is that defects are not produced and that defects are not passed on to subsequent processes. To that end, we will pursue the true cause of abnormalities and defects, and we will take steps to prevent recurrence. Moreover, we will continue to standardize and incorporate mechanisms such as pokayoke and andon. The next idea is to separate the work of people from that of equipment. People are not the guardians of equipment. It also means that people must not become the guards of machines. To do so, stop after processing or one cycle of work. Return to the origin, or replace these things with the work of machines, so that people do not have to be attached to the equipment and people will be able to do more value-added work. The important idea of Jidoka is to stop when there is an abnormality, stop the flow, identify problems, and lead to improvement. Let's promote Kaizen by using the idea of Jidoka.